Oh, you can do that? All right. You're live. Hi, so I'm Brett Fisher, and we're live here at
On which I do videos mostly on the simpler stuff and getting people on board in the Docker ecosystem. And I run the meetups in Belgium, so that's a bit
That's the
about me.
thing. Yeah. And Containerizers, that's a cool one. Actually, I was following you on YouTube before I knew who you were. I was following your videos and
Okay.
wishing that one day that I could make cool videos like that. And now here we are together talking about YouTube videos while we're doing a YouTube video.
What
So
do you know? Very meta.
yeah, that's right. And so we're in San Francisco. You can actually see outside. We're in the Moscone Center. So this is 5,000 people at DockerCon, right? And it's the largest one, and it's the fourth year. So how do you feel about the conference so
Yeah,
far?
actually, because I was thinking back at my history of DockerCons, and I think I went to the first one, which was in a hotel little conference room, 300 people,
That
and
was,
now,
yeah.
yeah, not even 4 years later, we're in the Moscone, the famous Moscone Center, 5,000 people. That's pretty insane how things have grown. So
Yeah, it used to
yeah.
be where Apple WWDC
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
was, and
exactly.
they
Yeah,
moved, so we kind of took their spot.
yeah, indeed.
So we just had 2 days of keynotes, and there was lots of announcements yesterday. They announced a new visual. I don't know what the name of it is for Docker desktop. It's like a visual compose editor.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me is that, yeah, of course, we all know Docker, and we're kind of in that echo chamber of Docker users. But I think I can't remember who launched this research, but the IT people knowing Docker is only still like 9% in that research thing. So
Yeah,
it's still a challenge to bring more people or make more people aware of Docker's existence and
right.
getting them on board. And I think this tool is interesting, probably not for people already very familiar with Docker and using it for a long time, but for new people to easily bring up an application with a database is just a bit like a box of Legos. You click the components you need, and in a matter of seconds almost, you have everything
Yeah,
ready. You have your compose file, you have your Docker files. You don't have to write anything. And I think it's an interesting experience and something interesting to get more people on board, more developers on board, and get more people in the
yeah,
Docker world.
yeah. What was the tool? It's still actually in Docker desktop. What's the tool? There was another visual editor, but it was just for Docker files and running containers. Um, Kiss, Kiss something. I don't remember what it was.
Was it
It,
during the keynote?
no, no, no. This is like an old tool. It was like it's still in Docker
Oh,
desktop.
Kitematic. Yeah, yeah. I
Kitematic.
think it's still in the. If you
It's still
Docker for
there.
Mac, I think if you click in the
Yeah,
menu
it like
bar.
lets you download or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
So that was just for Docker files, though, right? And so
Yeah,
this is
this is more.
compose files for
Yeah,
multi.
indeed, because
Yeah,
when you want to bring up an application, say .NET or Node.js, with a database, you kind of bring in those two building blocks:
yeah,
the application, the database, and then it kind of mangles them together in a Docker Compose file and brings up the entire application. So the
yeah,
demo they gave was very hello world, of course, but without writing any single line of Docker file or Docker Compose file, the application, when going to the local host to the port, was
right.
running. Um,
Yeah, I remember that the last tool, the old tool, that like even if you want to do just a WordPress demo, you had to have a WordPress and a MySQL, and so you had to know how to do all that in that tool. But with this one, you could just sort of drag and drop and start it up or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly the kind of experience they're going for. Yeah.
Speaking of WordPress, I hear you're an expert.
Yeah, I mean, you make a video once and then suddenly it blows up and people start asking you about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done a small hallway track yesterday. So that's for people who don't know, hallway tracks are kind of where you sit with a couple of people, small group, talk about a specific topic. So I posted this topic. I will do it again today. Kind of similar discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting WordPress into Docker is kind of a challenge. So I posted this video mostly for a developer workflow. So
Yeah.
running it on your machine with Docker. People started asking about how can we use this now in production. the answer is it's complicated, but
You have to have shared storage, I'm assuming, for like templates
yeah,
and
so
static
if you,
files.
I mean, thanks to containers, we're used to having our applications run in multiple containers, going
across
up,
many
going
servers,
down, and the thing is, like in when you upload, for instance, a file in the WP admin as a content creator, it gets by default stored on the file system of, well,
wherever
in
that server.
old school your server,
Right.
but now it will live in that one container that you were served on. So that's kind of a challenge. So yeah, a couple of, I mean, there's many solutions to that problem, but for instance, the way we've been doing it in our company, we're running on Amazon, so we use their EFS layer, which is kind of the network storage, file storage system.
And that works well, right? Because it's EFS is known to be slower, but if you're doing static file stuff, it's probably not.
Yeah, and then we add a layer, a caching layer with Varnish or Squid, I can't remember, to make it a little faster. So for those static files, it's definitely a good solution.
Yeah.
But then PHP also wants to store session files on the disk, so you have to override that default behavior by using memcache, or it can even be written to SQL database.
It's almost like we need if we need like a hybrid or a modded version of WordPress, because I mean it was built originally on the single server concept. We've kind of been plugging along at it. There's lots of other tools that are just like that same problem, right? I mean, I like Ghost as a blog solution, but it when you use it out of a box with a container, it's using a local SQL file. It's not actually using a MySQL server, and you have to spend a lot of time figuring out all the little pieces of static files and sessions and. We don't really have like a single container multi solution. Where I don't know of any non-static site generator app like that where you can just say I'm going to have 5 containers and they all just work together and they all just show the same site.
Yeah, I feel like the whole content management system world is still a bit living in the old world and hasn't changed to these new mantras of like everything can go up and down at all times. But specifically for WordPress, I think it was Amazon has this white paper where they kind of have create a little reference architecture just to run WordPress. It doesn't mention Docker anywhere, so it's mostly just running on their set of tools. But that's what I use to kind of think about, okay, what components do we need and what parts of those can be containerized. So that's kind of where I started from, and then went further into making WordPress a little more containerized. It's
a little less suck. I can say it.
Okay. I'm the WordPress guy. I can't.
Well, because we all just want these things to work, right? At the end of the day, it's like unless you're a WordPress consultant, that's your whole bread and butter is making custom mods or whatever, but that market is going to exist whether or not we're in containers anyway, right? Like adding solutions like that. So we all really just want to be able to have easy, scalable blogs that never fail, websites with content that can allow easily uploading of content that we don't lose, but we know that we're not going to fail at any level and it just works.
Exactly. And in our company, it was like, okay, we run tens and tens of applications in containerized and in Kubernetes, and how can we not make WordPress? I mean, we need to figure it out. Like this needs to work, and by bolting on some components here and there, we kind of managed to do that. So,
nice. So you're going to be talking about this more. Where can people find you?
Online. Online it's either on YouTube. It's a channel. It's called Containerizers with a Z. Exactly. And then I also kind of caption the videos and also make those captions a bit into written form, and that's under container.io, but without the vowels, like CNTNR.io.
We all have to spell them now because none of our words are real.
No, indeed. No. That was the shortest I could find.
It's got to be short. If it's not short, it's not cool. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out. We're going to be doing some more of these, and maybe go find some other people and talk with some captains and some speakers and attendees. So talk to you later.